We realised very early on that Eliza was going to need a good education and that it was probably going to be difficult for her. It's because we knew from what the doctors had said and speaking to other people and parents that she would miss a lot of time off school. And our philosophy is no matter how much time she misses, she has to make it up. I don't know if that makes me a mean mum. Eliza was 7 weeks premature, so we knew she'd have to stay in hospital for a while, and they did some tests on her and discovered that it was cystic fibrosis. And they started telling me about hospital visits, life expectancies, medications, physio, and apart from that, have a good life.
It's a disease that affects like your chest and your stomach, so like for some kids, like they have more chest problems, but I have more stomach. But I have to take like enzymes to help digest my food and stuff. If it's more stomach pain, then it's really bad. But if it's chest pain, it hurts. Or like just walking around, like you feel really breathless, like your chest is closing up.
That was our biggest fear, that she wouldn't make a teenager. I know parents that have lost their children to cystic fibrosis in their early teens, but she's happy, healthy and 13 and still hanging in there and has the same career ambitions and the same ambitions at school and with her friends that any other teenager now has. We fit all the treatments in around the other things that we want to do, and we just try as little as possible to let it dominate our lives. So at the moment, Eliza has a chest infection and we're doing nebulized antibiotics twice a day for 2 weeks. Takes about an hour and a half of a morning and an hour and a half every evening.
Well, it's annoying having all these different types of medicine shoved in you because it has like side effects and stuff, but they're not sure like what it'll do to me. So like I'll have it and I'll get really sick.
Well, I get up at 6:15 in the morning and then prepare it, wake her up and get her straight down here and onto this so that we can get organised and get her to school. When she got to year 3, she was hospitalised for several weeks for the very first time.
Being in hospital the first time I was in that, I was petrified. It was so scary because I couldn't, like I'd wake up and could not breathe. It was scary.
The area that she fell behind in was the mathematics. And no matter how much time we spent at home covering what the class did, it was those basics that she just didn't pick up.
You don't realise how much work you actually miss in like one day. Like they can go through like 3 pages of work. And I was away last week and now they're doing something completely different that like we've never learnt.
It's not just the missing out on school, it's the fitting back in afterwards, and I think that's one of the hardest things too, because these kids, they feel dumb, they feel stupid, they're out of the loop, they don't know what the teachers are talking about.
And like all my friends were just going, you know, it'll get better, but it didn't, so and I felt really dumb, and because I felt dumb I didn't want to go to school, and yeah, it was just really out of control.
Eliza came into my Year 6 classroom, very beautiful little girl, full of life, but there were some areas that she was very despondent in. She felt as though she'd missed so much school that she would never catch up. So often it's a cycle though. They become despondent and that will make them ill and they'll miss more time. So it's a case of breaking the cycle.
We're at a point where we just didn't know how to solve the problem or what we were going to do. If we were at clinic, Eliza was being cantankerous and I just burst into tears, and they sat me down and they said to me, have you heard of the Ronald McDonald learning program? And then they gave me a referral.
The criteria for the children coming into the program is that they've had some sort of chronic long-term illness and they've missed a substantial amount of schooling.
They assessed her to start with, which was a huge thing, and so they knew from the moment she walked through the door what her strengths and weaknesses were and what she needed to work on.
I did an assessment on maths, reading, writing, spelling. I had a look at it and I realised I had the math age of like a 9-year-old. When you read it you go, okay, yeah, I do need help with this.
So the teacher then is working with the student on a weekly basis on exactly the needs of that child. They're all qualified teachers. They will have had experience working as a teacher in primary schools or secondary schools.
Eliza would come back after tutoring lessons very confident, and the learning program was amazing in that respect.
Best thing about having a learning program teacher is just like you have like that hour or whatever that she can explain things to you, and like she can go through it, 100 times just so you can get it, or go over that particular thing that you're having problems with. And it helps me with science and that, because I'm not that great at science because it took a lot of measuring and calculators. And because I learnt fractions and stuff, I can do science and stuff now, or design, because you had to have certain lengths of material, so it helps a lot.
Because she didn't feel like she was silly, dumb and stupid anymore, she was able to keep up with what was happening in class, and she was happy to go back to school, and within a few weeks it was a huge turnaround.
And I'm getting better results in all my tests because I remember, little tricks to it or whatever. If I hadn't done the learning program, school would have been heaps harder, and I reckon I would have had to repeat because of maths.
You just want to put everything together for them. You want them to be happy, you want them to be well educated, you want them to be well. And if there's people out there that can help you put all that together, it's a huge help. My hopes for Eliza, I don't think would vary that much from the hopes of any mum for their child. I'd like her to be happy. I want her to get a good education. I want her to find a career that she enjoys. And I hope one day she'll meet, fall in love, get married and have children and make me a grandmother.
Well, I want to be a fashion designer, so my friend bought me this little kit, and because of that I got really, really into it. But I'm not sure if I want to do handbag designing or shoes, but I definitely want to do some sort of designing. And I've even got one of my friends lined up for a photographer. So I've set out my business. I just need to find something I'm really good at.